An asylum seeker who just completed a 1,000-kilometre protest walk across 2 states has been granted permanent residency. Neil Parra set off from Ballarat in regional Victoria early last month, arriving today at Enmore Park in Sydney. He walked 30 kilometres a day to highlight the plight of asylum seekers waiting for visas. Neil Parra fled war-torn Sri Lanka in 2008. He's lived with his wife and 3 daughters in Ballarat for more than 9 years without a visa, unable to work, study or access Medicare. The Wallabies have ended a 5-game losing streak with a solid win over Georgia in their opening match of the Rugby World Cup. Australia was victorious 35 points to 15, and coach Eddie Jones says he believes the team can do something special in the tournament. Europe correspondent Steve Kinane reports from Stade de France in Paris.
You either want to be popular or unpopular, and I'm consistently unpopular, so that's all right. I can deal with that.
Georgia can be a tricky team to beat, and the Wallabies will be happy to get through this match with a win. But the true test of where they're at will come next week when they take on Fiji, a team that could pose the greatest threat in their World Cup group. Steve Kinane, ABC News, Paris.
It's been an afternoon of tension and ultimately joy in Newcastle as the Knights booked themselves a place in the second week of NRL finals. It was the first time the Knights had hosted a finals game in nearly 20 years. Today, they secured their 10th straight win, and the fans were behind them all the way.
Thousands of passionate fans turned out to support their beloved footy team. The Newcastle Knights are through to the second week of finals, defeating the Canberra Raiders. No matter what, this city is right behind them. Keely Johnson, ABC News, Newcastle.
The Knights' win is being described as one of the best NRL finals games in recent memory. The home side prevailed over the Canberra Raiders in a 30 points to 28 sudden death epic. Knights skipper Kalen Ponga starred with a decisive penalty goal, ending the Raiders' 20-23 season.
The Newcastle Knights received a rapturous reception from the capacity crowd.
The Roosters are marching on!
A messy and miraculous 1-point win has booked the Sydney Roosters a semi-final.
Sam Walker for field goal! He's got it!
A gutsy effort that ended Cronulla's season in front of a raucous Shark Park crowd.
That hurts. That really hurts.
The Tricolours looked down and out when Captain James Tedesco was sin-binned, but they kept fighting.
He's gone! That's a huge call!
Really proud. Like, you want the footy to improve, but as far as the spirit, that was of a high end.
Next up, the Storm in Melbourne. Chloe Hart, ABC News.
And the race to the NRLW finals is heating up. The Gold Coast Titans and Canberra Raiders have secured wins in the penultimate round of the regular season. In front of a home crowd, the Titans dominated the Parramatta Eels, leading by 14 points at half-time. Jamie Chapman starred in the 34-12 victory, which solidifies Gold Coast's spot in the top 4, just 1 win away from ladder leaders, the Newcastle Knights. The Titans face the Canberra Raiders next Sunday, who also celebrated a win, beating the North Queensland Cowboys 34 points to 12. The Raiders are sitting 5th on the ladder and still have a chance of making the finals. In cricket, Australia has defeated South Africa by 123 runs in the second one-day international at Bloemfontein. David Warner and Marnus Labuschagne both blasted centuries as the visitors reached 8 for 392 from their 50 overs. Warner's 106 from 93 deliveries was his 20th ODI century and the second fastest of his career. In response, South Africa was dismissed for 269. Spinner Adam Zampa took 4 for 48 as Australia took a 2-0 lead in the best-of-5 series. In tennis, 19-year-old Coco Gauff has become the first American teenager since Serena Williams to win the US Open. She came from a set down to beat Aryna Sabalenka at Flushing Meadows. Sabalenka looked in complete control early in the match, taking the first set 6 games to 2. But with the New York crowd behind her, Gauff lifted in the second to level the match. From there, she cruised to her maiden Grand Slam title and a payday of $3 million. As runner-up, Sabalenka receives half that amount and also climbs to the top of the WTA rankings.
I don't pray for results. I just ask that, I get the strength to give it my all, and whatever happens, happens. I'm so blessed in this life, so I'm just thankful for this moment. I don't have any words for it, to be honest.
Now, usually we don't have our weatherman Tom Saunders in on Sundays, but tonight is quite a special night. Tom, it's the last time I'll be introducing you, so how is the weather looking for the first day of my new life?
Juanita, as always, your timing is impeccable. It's looking bright and it's looking sunny. Although we do have some warm weather ahead, it has been noticeably chilly at night through this weekend. Now, Sydney dropped to 7 degrees. That was the coldest spring minimum in 2 years. Parramatta down to 4 degrees last night. That was their coldest for 11 years in spring. Now, if we have a look at minimums across the state, well, it was bitterly cold in some areas, down to -7 in Cooma. These minimums were as much as 9 below average. Now, Forbes, -4, that was their lowest spring temperature since 1876. Maximum temperatures were also generally cooler than average, although just slightly warmer than what we saw yesterday. We'll take a look at the satellite image. You can see clear skies across most of New South Wales. Now, there is some low cloud in the far northeast of the state, but it's only bringing the odd light shower right up near the Queensland border. Taking a look at the chart then, we've got a broad high that is moving in. Now, that system will dominate the weather across the country for at least a week. And that means for our capitals tomorrow, it's generally looking dry. Adelaide sunny and 22, partly cloudy for Brisbane, and a top of 23. Rug up though tonight because it will be cold. Frost tomorrow morning again for most of the inland. Now for the northeast, a freezing night along the ranges, then generally a sunny day tomorrow, apart from a medium chance of showers on the far north coast, and there's the slight chance of showers around the mid-north coast. For the southeast, bitterly cold tonight, down to around -5 for some parts of the ranges. Tomorrow is looking mostly sunny, tops reaching around 20 for the coastline, touch cooler for the ranges. To the west then, cold night throughout, then sunshine tomorrow. The only exception is some low cloud in the far southwest, although no rainfall, and maximum temperatures in most towns will be in the low 20s. On the waters, 15 to 25 knot winds and seas up to 2 metres. Now for Sydney, a cold night, 9 for the city, a top of 20 degrees tomorrow in most suburbs. Now the sun will be rising at 6 a.m. and then further ahead, well, it's looking dry and temperatures are climbing. 21 Tuesday, 23 Wednesday, 26 on Thursday. By the weekend, up to 10 degrees above average. So just as Juanita ordered, sunny and dry. But there could be some tears here tonight at the ABC. Juanita, on your last night presenting the 7 p.m. news, can I thank you on behalf of all of our viewers and bring in Jeremy Fernandez.
Tom, thank you. It is indeed a momentous night to be saying goodbye to you. 4,500 bulletins, 21 years. You've been a great friend, and you've been there with us for some of the most unforgettable moments in history.
A huge bomb has ripped through 2 bars packed with foreign tourists on the Indonesian island of Bali. The waterfall train disaster dominates tonight's news. The Second Gulf War has begun. All of Iraq was watching when the man dubbed the Butcher of Baghdad faced the first charges. It was one of those moments, one of those images that will never be forgotten. 2 miners walking into the arms of their families, walking, not carried on stretchers. Just one word, but it meant so much to so many. And after years of waiting, Indigenous Australians heard it not once, but 6 times. It began with a single bunch and grew to a field of flowers. A floral tribute to the victims of the Lint Cafe siege. As we go to air tonight, New South Wales is in the grip of a major bushfire emergency. Hello? Head-high floodwaters swept through the house, destroying almost everything. They say the memories of that terrible night are still so raw. Supermarket shelves stripped bare, parents pulling kids out of school, and offices eerily deserted. For gay Australians, their families and friends, it was a long fight for justice. time for the weather now, and there's more wet weather on the horizon, Graham.
Yeah, there is, Juanita.
And that is the news to the moment. I'm Juanita Phillips. I'll have updates for you throughout the evening. Have a good evening. Well, it's hard to believe that this is my last goodbye on the 7 o'clock news. I want to thank all of my wonderful colleagues for their support over the years. And to our viewers, I've been overwhelmed by your kind messages these past few weeks. It's been an honour to be a part of your daily lives for such a long time. Thank you for trusting me with this responsibility. From now on, my dear friend and colleague Jeremy Fernandez will be bringing you the 7 p.m. news. Jez, I'm sad to be leaving, but I'm so happy that I'll be getting to watch you in this role. I hope you enjoy it as much as I have, and I want to wish you the very best of luck.
Thank you. What an honour.
And that is a wrap for me. One last time, that is ABC News Sunday. Thanks for the past 21 years, New South Wales. Enjoy the rest of your evening.